Welcome to the NPC Energy Podcast. Ever get that feeling like something's just a little bit off? Like you took a weird turn down a road you didn't recognize, and suddenly, I don't know, the sky's the wrong color. That's kind of where we're starting our simulated journey today. We are diving deep into something called glitchporting, accidentally jumping into parallel realities.
Yeah, seriously. Like, one minute you're making a sandwich, the next, boom, you're in a dimension where bread was never even invented. Wild, right? We've pulled together some super detailed, fully loaded intel on this. Anonymous sources giving us the lowdown.
It's definitely a concept that pushes the edges of, well, everyday reality, this idea that the world we see might not be the only one out there, and these accidental shifts that could be glimpses into something much, much bigger. The stuff we've been looking at is, yeah, it makes you tip. It really does. And on this simulated journey, we're going to try and unpack it. First off, what the fork is glitchporting, actually? Then we'll get into some truly bonkers account stuff people claim actually happened to them, real-life glitches. After that, we'll, geek out a bit on the theories behind it, the science-ish stuff. We even have some, let's call them NPC submissions, listener stories. And finally, maybe some tips on how to stay put in your own timeline, if that's even a thing.
It's a fascinating ride, for sure. But I think it's important for everyone listening. You got to engage with stuff critically, right? We're stepping into areas where hard science and personal experience don't always line up perfectly. So, yeah, keep an open mind, but also, keep that skeptical hat nearby.
Couldn't agree more. The NPC energy meter is already going a bit haywire. Today, we're kicking off at a pretty solid 95% NPC energy. Feels like we're basically beta testing the multiverse right now. So, yeah, buckle up. Could be some turbulence in the fabric of reality.
So let's get right into it then. What are we actually calling glitchporting here? How are we defining it?
Right. Okay. So glitchporting.
Yeah.
Basically, we're talking about accidentally, uncontrollably teleporting, and I use that word loosely, between what feel like parallel realities. It's not like you decide to do it. It's more like a hiccup, a glitch in the system. Maybe the universe just got lazy for a second and whoops, you're on a different track.
That uncontrolled part is key, isn't it? These aren't people trying to find other dimensions with, like, crystals and chanting. It's sudden, unexpected, leaves people feeling totally weirded out, questioning what they just saw.
Exactly. It's like, okay, imagine reality is a giant Google Chrome window with way too many tabs open, and you accidentally hit Ctrl+Shift+Tab, and bam, you're looking at a slightly different version of reality. Same basic layout, maybe, but the details are just wrong. Or like tabbing out of a video game,
Yeah.
And you forget which desktop you're actually on. Everything looks kind of fuzzy for a sec.
Those are pretty good ways to picture it, actually. That sudden shift, that feeling of wrongness in a familiar place. It helps make this kind of abstract idea feel more relatable, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
So what about the causes, then? What are the theories floating around based on these anonymous sources?
Okay, so the sources point to a few things. Some sound kind of sciencey, others are, well, more out there. Yeah. You've got stuff like quantum decoherence, which, super simplified, is about how quantum possibilities kind of collapse into one reality. Maybe glitching means you briefly land in one of the other possibilities.
Right, quantum decoherence is complex, yeah. But the core idea people connect here is that observation forces a choice. And the many worlds idea suggests all the other choices become real too, just somewhere else, in parallel.
Exactly. Then you get the more imaginative stuff like simulation patch updates. Maybe the big programmers upstairs are rolling out Reality 2.0. And during the update, a few of us get accidentally shuffled into like an old build or a beta test for Dimension Z.
The simulation hypothesis definitely opens the door for that kind of thinking. If this is a simulation, then yeah, glitches, bugs, errors in the code. That could explain these weird shifts.
Or dimensional server lag. Cosmic internet's just slow today, packets of reality getting misrouted. And my personal favorite theory, which I fully endorse, someone spilled Red Bull on the main timeline control panel. Explains everything, doesn't it?
Well, maybe not peer-reviewed, the Red Bull theory, but it definitely captures that feeling of things just going inexplicably sideways sometimes. But let's dig into the physics a bit more seriously. You mentioned Hugh Everett's many worlds interpretation. How does that fit in?
Oh, yeah. Got to get our geek cred up. Yeah. So many worlds, right? Basically, every time there's a quantum choice, like an electron spinning left or right, the universe splits.
Yeah.
One universe for each outcome, like infinite branching realities. So glitchporting, in that view, isn't physical travel. It's more like your consciousness just loads the wrong save file for a second. Yeah. You accidentally tune into a slightly different branch of the multiverse.
It's staggering to think about, isn't it? Just the sheer number of potential realities constantly splitting off. And if glitchporting is real, it suggests those barriers between worlds might be fuzzier, less solid than we think.
And speaking of things feeling fuzzy, the Mandela effect. That comes up a lot with this stuff, right? People see it as maybe a symptom or a result of these little reality shifts.
That's definitely a connection people make, yeah. The Mandela effect, where lots of people share the same false memory, like remembering Nelson Mandela dying in prison years ago, or the Berenstain Bears having an E instead of an A. Some theories propose these shared glitches in memory might be echoes from slightly different timelines we've brushed against.
See? It all starts weaving together into this big, weird, maybe simulated quilt.
Yeah.
Okay, ready to hear about some of the alleged real-life cases? Because this is where it gets properly strange.
I am. Let's look at these stories that make people think they've actually slipped.
All right, first case. The Green Sky Anomaly. Spain, 2008, apparently. This woman says she was driving near Zaragoza, and she enters this town. And the sky is just green, like intensely, unnaturally green, not just a bit tinted, full-on green. And all the buildings, weird logos, signs she'd never seen before. Totally unfamiliar.
The green sky is powerful, such a fundamental break from the norm. And unfamiliar logos, yeah, that combination would absolutely make you feel like you're somewhere you shouldn't be. Deeply disorienting.
Totally. And then her GPS just stopped working while she was in this town. Dead.
Oh.
But here's the kicker. She decides to get out of there, turns around, tries to go back the way she came, and the road she used to enter the town, it just wasn't there anymore. Vanished.
The disappearing road.
Yeah.
That's a theme that crops up sometimes in these accounts. It really ramps up that feeling of being outside normal reality where things don't just cease to exist like that.
Okay, next up. Lerina Garcia's timeline shift. We hear this one a lot. Another woman in Spain apparently woke up one morning and things were just different. Subtle stuff at first, like her bed sheets were a different color than she remembered. Seemed small, but jarring. But then she goes to work. Different office, totally different colleagues she didn't know.
It's often that accumulation of small things, isn't it? Not one huge change, but lots of little details that are just wrong, building up this sense that reality's gonna skew.
Exactly. And the big one for her ex-boyfriend, was apparently her current boyfriend again. Talk about a shock. She famously said something like, either I'm in a parallel universe or someone's gaslighting me on a budget.
The quote really nails the dilemma, doesn't it? Is it reality shift or is it something psychological? The humor kind of highlights how absurd the situation must have felt to her.
Then there's the classic mystery. The man from Taured. This one's older. 1954, Tokyo airport. A guy shows up, presents a passport. Looks legit, stamps and all, but the country. Taured. Problem is, there's no country called Taured. Anywhere. Officials were stumped.
That's fascinating because of the physical evidence, the passport. Something seemingly real, validating an origin that, according to our Maxon records, simply doesn't exist.
And it gets weirder. They put him up in a hotel room under guard while they try to figure it out. Locked door, guards outside. Next morning, he's gone. Vanished from the locked room. His stuff, everything. Poof. Nobody could explain it. Became instant glitch legend material.
The locked room element really takes it beyond just a weird passport story. It suggests something genuinely unexplainable happened there.
Okay, number 4. The disappearing highway. USA, 2013 this time. A trucker says he took a detour off I-94 in Wisconsin. Standard enough. But the road he ended up on wasn't on any map. He described it as creepy. Silent, silver fields and twisted road signs. Gives me chills just saying it.
Those descriptions, the silence, the color, the distorted signs, they really paint a picture of an altered reality, a place that feels subtly wrong, maybe even a bit menacing.
And, yeah, you guessed it. When he got his bearings later, checked GPS, looked at maps, the road he described just wasn't there. Didn't exist. Like he drove onto a ghost road for a while.
There it is again, the environment contradicting the map, the official record. It's hard to square these with just misperception or bad memory sometimes.
And lastly, the parallel subway slip. Japan, 1997. This office worker, right, falls asleep on the Tokyo subway. Happens all the time. But when they wake up, the announcements are in some language they don't recognize. Station names are totally alien.
Imagine that, waking up somewhere familiar, a subway car, but all the sensory input is just foreign. Unknown language, wrong signs. Deeply unsettling.
Yeah, totally panicked. They jump off at the next stop, trying to figure out where on earth they are. But then, and this is the really weird bit, just moments after getting off the train, they suddenly find themselves back at their familiar Tokyo station. Like the whole weird detour just didn't happen.
That sudden snap back to the original reality is another common thread. Like they dipped into another timeline for a minute and then got yanked back just as fast.
Wow. Hearing those all together, It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, about what reality even is and what other versions might be flickering just out of sight.
They definitely challenge our basic assumptions about reality being stable, singular. They invite that question. Is what we see really all there is?
Okay, so we've heard the weird stories. Now let's try to put on our theoretical physicist hats for a minute. Let's dive into some of the explanations people throw around for this whole glitchporting idea, where physics meets, well, maybe philosophy.
Exactly. Let's start with many worlds again, Hugh Everett's idea. Like we touched on, every quantum event splits the universe. Infinite copies, infinite possibilities playing out. So glitchporting could be your consciousness just momentarily. Sleeping tracks, aligning with a different parallel universe for a bit. Not physical travel, but an awareness shift.
So, like, there's a universe where I didn't eat that entire pizza last night. Maybe I could glitchport there briefly. Probably healthier.
Potentially infinite universes, so maybe. But then there are other more fringe ideas like CERN and particle colliders. Some people speculate, maybe humorously, maybe not, that smashing particles together at huge energies could poke tiny holes between dimensions, create temporary bridges.
Right. You turn on the Large Hadron Collider, and oops, someone in Switzerland suddenly finds themselves arguing about whether croissants are currency. It's fun to imagine, but probably not how physics actually works, right?
It's definitely highly speculative. Mainstream physics doesn't really support the idea that current colliders are opening dimensional portals. It's more science fiction trope than scientific theory at this point.
Gotcha. And then the big one, simulation theory. Are we all just Sims living in some cosmic computer? You hear tech billionaires talk about this all the time.
It's a compelling thought experiment for sure.
Yeah.
And if we're in a simulation, then yeah, glitchporting makes a kind of sense. It could just be lag, a bug in the code, rendering errors. Maybe the simulators are just doing some maintenance.
Cosmic IT support rebooting the reality server makes as much sense as anything else, maybe. Then you get into things like psychedelic parallels. People taking certain substances sometimes report feeling like they've visited other realities.
That's a really complex area. Are those experiences genuine glimpses, or are they profound alterations of brain chemistry within our reality? It's hard to separate perception from potential external reality there. Neuroscience meets metaphysics.
And finally, the more down-to-earth explanations. Stuff like microsleeps or déjà vu. Could it just be our brains glitching, not reality itself?
That's certainly a possibility for some cases. A microsleep, even just for a second, could cause disorientation, and déjà vu gives that powerful, uncanny feeling of reliving something, which might feel like a reality flicker. These neurological explanations are often more parsimonious, scientifically speaking.
So basically, a brain blip could feel like a dimension hop. Less exciting, maybe, but plausible. Seems like we've got a whole range, from quantum physics to maybe just being really tired.
That sums it up pretty well. Without hard, repeatable proof, it's tough to pin down one single cause or even confirm glitchporting as a distinct thing.
Now, we did ask our listeners, our NPCs out there, if they'd had any weird experiences like this. And we got some interesting responses. Again, totally anecdotal. Take them with a grain of salt, but fun to consider.
Right. Personal stories are valuable for understanding perception, but we have to be careful about treating them as objective proof.
Definitely. But, okay, check this one out. A listener, Dave, let's call him. He swears he walked into a fully operational Blockbuster video store last year in 2023. Said he browsed the aisles, dusty VHS tapes, the whole 9 yards, even rented something, went back the next day, gone. It was a vape shop, like the Blockbuster had just phased out of existence.
Wow. Okay, that plays right into that sense of nostalgia and things being out of time. A Blockbuster in 2023 would feel like a glitch in the Matrix for a lot of people. The sudden disappearance seals it.
Right. And another one, Maya from Toronto, she says she got in her car one morning and the entire dashboard displayed the language, the symbols, had switched to Cyrillic overnight. Like Russian alphabet. Freaked her out. Next morning, back to normal English. Sent a pic. But it's kind of blurry, you know.
Again, that sudden environmental shift. Language changing is a big one. And then reverting back, it reinforces that feeling of a temporary slip, an anomaly.
We had a couple others, too. Someone finding an online news article about something that hadn't happened yet, kind of vanished. Someone else seeing their reflection wearing totally different clothes for just a split second. Just these weird, fleeting moments that make you go, wait, what just happened?
These stories, even if we can't verify them, they really show how people try to make sense of the unusual. They fuel that fascination with maybe, just maybe, reality being more flexible than we think.
So, okay, we've talked about potentially slipping into the dimension next door. What can people actually do about it? Any debugging tips? Patch notes for reality. How do we stay put?
Well, since we can't scientifically confirm interdimensional slippage, we can't offer guaranteed prevention methods. But we can suggest some things, maybe more for psychological grounding than anything else.
Okay, lay 'em on us. The official NPC ENERGY guidelines for not accidentally ending up where bread isn't invented.
First off, probably the most boring, but maybe useful, get enough sleep, keep a regular schedule. A tired brain is more prone to misperceptions, brief moments of disorientation that could feel like a reality shift.
Okay, sleep.
Mm.
Sensible. Less exciting than carrying a dimensional anchor, but
Yeah.
okay. What else?
Stick to routines. Mundane, maybe, but familiar habits create a sense of stability. That predictability can help anchor you, make your current reality feel solid and consistent.
Embrace the boring. Check. Any actual, don't do this advice?
Maybe try not to stare too long into suspiciously shiny portals that appear in your living room, or swirling vortexes of light. Could just be an oil slick in a puddle, but
Yeah.
probably best to just walk around it, yeah.
Solid advice. Avoid shiny vortexes.
Yeah.
Got it. Anything else for the survival kit?
Maybe keep a journal. Write down daily details. If something feels off, you can check back. Was the sky really green yesterday, or did I just remember it wrong? Plus, if you do glitch, you'll have great notes for your memoir.
Document potential timeline shenanigans.
Yeah.
Excellent. And speaking of things that might not be real,
Ah, yes. I sense a transition.
this simulated journey has been sorta, kinda, maybe brought to you by Chronofix, the premier temporal adhesive designed to patch up those pesky reality leaks. Warning, Chronofix may cause mild temporal displacement, existential dread, or the sudden urge to debate the bootstrap paradox. Use responsibly. Chronofix. Keep your timeline tidy. Find it. Well, probably only in this reality.
Just to be perfectly clear for everyone listening, Chronofix is not a real product.
Not yet, anyway. Hey, if a listener invents it, send us a free sample for quality control.
Of course, for science.
Okay, so as we kind of wrap up this simulated journey into glitchporting madness, what's the big takeaway? What should folks be mulling over?
I think it's about balancing curiosity with critical thinking. The idea of parallel worlds, reality shifts. It's incredibly compelling, fascinating stuff. But it's vital to know the difference between compelling stories, interesting theories, and what we actually have evidence for. Keep questioning, but stay grounded.
And we definitely want to keep the conversation going. Have you glitchported? Felt reality stutter? Seen something impossible? Slide into our DMs, our digital mailbag. Tell us your story. We might even talk about them in a future Debug Report episode.
Yeah, we're curious about patterns. Do lots of people see green skies, disappearing roads? Collecting these accounts, even anecdotally, helps understand how we process the strange.
Awesome. And with that, wow, the NPC energy meter is basically redlining, 99.99%. Max simulation weirdness achieved. Definitely stick around for our next simulated journey. Who knows what reality bugs we'll investigate next? Phantom time, glitches in history, could be anything. Check our socials for some fun stuff related to today, glitch memes, maybe a fake debug patch notes graphic. Thanks for diving into the weirdness with us for our just players trying to figure out the rules of this simulation, right? Until next time, keep your eyes open and try not to accidentally delete your save file.
Indeed, keep questioning, keep observing. The most interesting stuff often happens right at the edge of what we think we know. You never know what reality you might encounter.